Hey everybody, welcome to Tech4O channel. I'm Michael, and this little TV stick can play videos in 4K up to 60 frames per second, and that also guarantees UHD playback of both Netflix and Amazon Prime videos. And you can interact with Alexa via your TV for less than 50 bucks. Let's dive into it. This apparently is the Amazon Fire TV Stick, the 4K edition, something that Amazon has released a few months ago. What is it about? It's about content streaming. There rarely are TVs which are good enough to offer the full variety of features you would need from a smart device, and this is where things like the Fire TV Stick, the Android TV boxes, Google Chromecast, Xiaomi Mi Box S and so on, they come to help us. There rarely are TVs that pack everything that you need. There are some based on Android TV, which is somewhat close to the software of this one. There are some which have different operating system, which is smart but not enough. And there are non-smart TVs, getting harder to find, but they still exist. So the Fire TV Stick 4K is good at streaming online content like Netflix, Amazon Prime videos, any kinds of online TV services, streams a lot of ads, yes. You can play YouTube with some complications or restrictions. You can also install some apps, some of which you might know from Google Play Store. However, Amazon have their own Amazon App Store, which is not as rich as the Google's variation. Maybe if we had some sort of Google framework support. I was about to say that this TV stick is mostly about software because the hardware is far from being competitive, but well, you're going to remain with mixed feelings about both the software and the hardware experience about this Fire TV stick. In this review, I would like to guide you through the good 5 and the bad 5 features that we can associate this device with. So let's begin. I'll first cover the unboxing. Inside there is an ultra-short HDMI cable, a remote and the TV stick itself. Design is good, quality is plastic, very well built though, with an HDMI port. No other options, there are no external ports like USB or something else. The only port you will see is a micro USB for the charger. On the good side, there's one optional Amazon accessory you can buy, a LAN adapter. Unfortunately, and still something quite typical for Amazon devices even in 2019, no Type-C implementation. You entirely rely on the communication between the stick and your TV, which is established via HDMI. The rest of the hardware specs: MediaTek manufactured quad-core CPU, which runs at 1.7 GHz, a GB and a half of RAM, dual Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5. Obviously, we can't expect phenomenal performance, but it anyways is not something that Amazon were targeting by giving us this device. And that is confirmed by the software experience. You will notice some similarities with Android TV, but in time, with software updates, they are getting less and less. Let's begin with the 5 good features, and my number 1 is Alexa. You can communicate with the voice assistant by pressing the microphone button on this remote controller and you can communicate with Alexa. If you have other devices at home, Alexa will of course be able to communicate with them too. So if you want to play music via Spotify, you need to configure it first and ask Alexa to start it for you. The second big advantage are the streaming capabilities. You could run Netflix and Amazon Prime videos in 4K. There are some requirements you need to meet. First of all, you need to be subscribed for the service in UHD. Secondly, your TV needs to be capable of that. And thirdly, think about your ISP bandwidth, because typically streaming in 4K requires a bit wider broadband connection. So if the primary goal is to use streaming services, the Fire TV Stick 4K is among the absolute best solutions to do that, and looks like this is the perfect and the targeted use case scenario by Amazon. Thirdly, we're talking about Amazon device, so shopping. And trust me, it's so much different to look into a product from a tiny smartphone screen versus watching and reviewing it on a large 4K TV. Good for the soul and not so good for your wallet, and you will slowly start noticing that Amazon is trying to make you addicted to their entire ecosystem, suggesting you to use the Photos app, to buy the various video and audio subscriptions, the Kindle devices and so on. And this is very suitable if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, and that's going to enhance a lot your shopping experience. However, if you're living in a place outside the scope of Amazon, understand smaller countries like the one I'm living at, some of these ads and shopping options might be either irrelevant or inaccessible. Going with number 4, and these are a few fantastic audio and video features which are supported on a hardware level. HDR, HDR10 Plus, and Dolby Vision. There aren't too many TV boxes that are capable of all of them at the beginning of 2019. No matter if you have a soundbar or Dolby system, it's going to rock. The fifth main advantage, sort of the ecosystem, and most of the apps you could get or buy from Amazon's App Store. There are a lot of them which arrive for free and a lot which are paid. Certainly the variety is not as good as the Play Store, but you're likely going to find most of your favorite apps. There even is no official YouTube app. You have to download a modified app which uses a web browser to authenticate, and you'll need to do that via your smartphone prior to using the app. It needs to be done just once, however, doesn't seem to support 4K, so at the moment of making this review, it looks like your best shot is watching YouTube in full HD. Time to check the dark side of this Fire TV stick. In fact, we're going to take the last good thing, we're going to turn the coin around and look it from the bad side. So yes, I'm going to say a few negative things about the App Store of Amazon. Obviously not as well organized as Google Play Store, and overall in Play Store we have a few times more apps. There are no good ratings and nothing which is even close to what Google Play Store can do in terms of functionality. Secondly, gaming experience. I'm still with very mixed feelings about gaming experience. One thing is clear, this TV stick is not very suitable for gamers. Poor hardware means poor graphics performance, and there are mostly 2D games that won't impress you too much with their qualities. The few games that are interesting for playing and require better graphics run, however, loading times are significantly slower than what you would experience with a smartphone. Software is the third big bummer, especially the inability to run Google Play services. Amazon seems to be getting better and better in restricting us from getting anything from Google onto this Fire OS. It sort of makes sense. However, it's very sad to see that in the past there were some ways to do it. There still are some ways to do that on the Kindle Fire tablets. Nothing similar can be achieved on the Fire OS. There aren't any aftermarket ROMs, and unfortunately, if you're a fan of running customized skins or getting extra custom ROMs, that would be mission impossible. I am, of course, going to finger point to the lack of any connectivity options, and that's the fourth main disadvantage of the Fire TV Stick 4K. The only available port is micro USB, and while there is a dongle for LAN, there is no easy way to use a flash drive or an external disk. Last but not least, the too obvious integration of all these Amazon services. Well, certainly they're not the only company doing so. Google are putting something similar with their own in-house manufactured devices, but this Fire TV Stick is an interesting hybrid, running some bits of Android combined with a lot of Amazon services. Luckily, the ads are not too apparent and annoying. However, the launcher, it looks like a mess. At the end, I guess you're watching this video mostly because of the positive sides, and there are plenty of them that didn't find the right spot in this review, like the possibilities to expand functionality via Plex, Kodi, ES File Explorer, the mouse toggle app, and so on. A lot of online TV options, and of course the huge libraries of Netflix and Amazon Prime Video, meaning that if your primary use case would be using the TV stick for content streaming purposes, it's perfect. However, if you're looking for a good gaming device or something that can be turned into a more powerful media box or home NAS or something which is based on applications, then keep on looking. Maybe you can check NVIDIA Shield, which costs sort of 3 to 4 times more, or some of the cheaper Chinese alternatives. That's been all for this video. Thank you a lot for watching me, and I guess I'll see you soon. Alexa, did you subscribe?